The broken warrior. The sky was dark. Smoke rose from the broken ground. The battlefield was quiet now, but not long ago it was full of fire and screams. Metal pieces, weapons, and dead bodies were everywhere. Among them, a large alien warrior lay still. His body was huge, over 8 feet tall, with silver skin covered in burns and cuts. His armor was broken. His eyes were open, but he could not move. He was paralyzed. This warrior was not just any alien. He was part of the Dravari, a powerful and proud race. For years they had fought against humans and other species. The Dravari were strong, fearless, and never asked for help. But now one of their best warriors was lying on the ground, helpless. Soldiers passed by him, humans, robots, and aliens from other races. Some looked at him with fear, others with hate. "No one touch him," one soldier said. "That's a Dravari. Let him rot." "He killed my brother," said another. "Good, let him die slow." No one helped. No one cared. Everyone walked past. But then, someone stopped. A young human soldier stood near the broken warrior. His name was Private Jacob Thorne. He was only 22, new to the war, and not as strong or experienced as the others. His armor was old, and his hands were shaking. Jacob looked at the alien carefully. He saw pain in the warrior's eyes, but also something else, something sad, maybe even fear. Jacob took a deep breath. He looked around. No one was watching. Slowly, he stepped closer. "Can you hear me?" Jacob asked. The alien blinked. Once, his lips moved slightly, but no sound came out. Jacob knelt beside him. "You're hurt. I don't know why I'm doing this, but I can't leave you here." Suddenly, another soldier yelled from behind, "Hey, get away from that thing." Jacob turned. It was Sergeant Malik, his team leader. "What do you think you're doing?" Malik asked, angry. "He's alive." Jacob said, "We can't just leave him like this." "He's the enemy," Malik snapped. "He killed dozens of our men. That thing would crush you if he could move. Walk away, now." Jacob looked at the alien again. His hands were shaking. More now. But he didn't move. "He's not a threat now," Jacob said. "And I see no hate in his eyes." "Fine," Malik said coldly. "You carry that monster. You're on your own. No backup, no help." Jacob nodded slowly. Understood. Malik walked away, shaking his head. Jacob looked at the alien. "I don't know if you understand me, but I'm not like them. I won't leave you." Using all his strength, Jacob started to lift the alien's heavy body. It was not easy. The warrior weighed more than 2 men. But Jacob found a broken hover sled nearby. He pulled the alien onto it. "You're lucky I found this," Jacob said, smiling weakly. As he pulled the sled, the alien finally spoke. His voice was low and rough. "Why, save me." Jacob stopped. He looked into the alien's eyes. "Because someone should," Jacob said. "Even if you're my enemy," the alien didn't answer. But something in his eyes changed. The anger was gone. Only silence remained. Jacob moved quickly, pulling the sled across the burnt ground. He didn't know where he was going yet. He just wanted to get away from the battlefield. Suddenly, he heard a sound in the distance, a sharp buzzing, like metal wings. He looked up. Small enemy drones were scanning the area. They hadn't seen him yet. "Not good," Jacob whispered. He pulled the alien behind a broken wall and stayed low. The drones flew closer. One stopped in the air. Its red light blinked. It had spotted. Then Jacob aimed his weapon and fired. One drone exploded, but the others came fast. "Hang on," Jacob shouted. He pushed the sled fast, running toward the ruins of a downed human transport ship. Bullets flew past him. Dirt and rocks exploded near his feet. But he didn't stop. He jumped inside the ruined ship and pulled the alien after him. Inside, it was dark and dusty. The drone circled outside but didn't come in. Jacob held his breath until they flew away. He sat down, breathing hard. His arms were sore. His face was covered in sweat and dirt. The alien looked at him. "You risk life for me," Jacob nodded. "Yeah, I don't know why yet, but I did." The alien closed his eyes. Strange human. Jacob leaned back against the metal wall. He knew this was just the beginning. Somewhere deep inside, he felt it. Something big was coming, and now he was part of it. The sky was no longer burning, but the war still echoed in the air, inside. The wrecked transport ship, the human and the paralyzed alien warrior rested in silence. Wind blew dust through the cracks in the metal walls. It was cold, dark, and quiet. Too quiet. Jacob Thorne didn't sleep that night. His hand stayed close to his rifle. His eyes kept checking the alien. And his mind kept asking the same question. Why did I save him? The alien, a Dravari warrior, lay still, his giant body breathing slowly. His wounds were deep, his armor cracked. He should have been dead. But something inside him refused to die. Suddenly, the alien's eyes opened. Jacob sat up fast. "You awake?" The alien's voice was faint, like a low growl. "Yes, human." Jacob walked closer. "How do you feel?" "Like fire inside my bones," the alien whispered. "But alive." Jacob gave him a bit of water. The alien drank slowly. Then he spoke words that made Jacob freeze. "You should not have saved me." "Why?" Jacob asked, confused. "Because now they will come for you too." Before Jacob could ask who, he heard footsteps outside. Many footsteps. Jacob peeked through a crack in the wall. His eyes widened. Soldiers. Human soldiers. At first, he felt hope. Maybe they came to help. Then he saw the red mark on their armor. A special squad, not regular army. These were the ghost unit, trained to clean up problems. And they were looking for him. Jacob grabbed his gear and turned to the alien. "We have to move." "I cannot walk," the alien said. "You will not escape with me." "I'm not leaving you," Jacob said firmly. "They'd shoot you on sight." "And probably me too." The alien stared at him for a long second. "You are strange," Jacob smiled. "Yeah, I get that a lot." He loaded his weapon, then pulled the hover sled forward again, dragging the alien through a back exit of the ship. The broken streets outside were quiet. Fires still burned in the distance. Drones flew above, scanning for movement. Jacob moved carefully, avoiding cameras and patrols. Every step was risky. Suddenly, a voice came from behind. "Private Thorne." Jacob turned slowly. It was Sergeant Malik. With a squad of soldiers. Malik stepped closer. "You've gone mad, Jacob. You're protecting a Dravari? Are you trying to get yourself court-martialed?" Jacob raised his rifle. "I won't let you hurt him." Malik laughed coldly. "You think you're a hero? That thing killed our people. His kind destroyed entire colonies." Jacob's hands shook, but he didn't lower his gun. "He's not trying to kill anyone now," Jacob said. "He's injured, alone, betrayed." "Betrayed?" Malik raised an eyebrow. "By who?" Jacob looked down at the alien. The warrior finally spoke. "By my own people," he said. "I knew a secret. They did not want me to speak." Malik looked at the alien like he was a bug. "Shut up. You're lucky we don't end you right now." Jacob's finger touched the trigger. "You'll have to go through me." Malik stared at him. The other soldiers hesitated. None of them wanted to shoot one of their own. Finally, Malik stepped back. "Fine. Go ahead, Thorne, but you're no longer part of this army. You're on your own now." He turned and walked away. Jacob sighed in relief. Later that night, they found a small hideout in the ruins of a hospital. The alien spoke again. "You lost everything for me." Jacob shook his head. "No, I found something worth fighting for." The alien was silent. Then he whispered something strange. Soon. They will come, not humans, not Dravari. Something worse. Jacob turned. What do you mean? The alien's eyes glowed faintly. A force is waking up. I heard whispers before they tried to silence me. I know things that others fear. You saved me, human. Now, we must stop what's coming. Jacob stared into the dark dot, and for the first time, he felt fear, not from war, but from what might be coming next. The sun never rose over Zone 7. Thick black clouds covered the sky like a blanket. Machines still burned in the distance. The air was full of ash and silence, the kind of silence before something terrible happens. Inside the ruins of the hospital, Jacob Thorne watched the alien warrior sleep, or maybe he wasn't sleeping. The alien's eyes were open, staring at the ceiling. Do your kind even sleep? Jacob asked quietly. Not when death is near, the alien answered. Jacob looked around. You think they'll come back? No, the alien said. They will. Before Jacob could ask what he meant, he heard it, a humming, low, deep, mechanical. Jacob peeked outside through a broken window. His heart skipped a beat. A dark shape was floating in the sky, bigger than a dropship, smaller than a battleship. It had no lights, no sound, just a low hum, like something alive. The alien's voice turned cold. That is not human. That is not Dravari. That is something else. The ship dropped small black pods onto the ground. The pods opened. Creatures stepped out. They were not soldiers. They had long limbs, glowing eyes, and moved like shadows. No weapons. Just claws, Jacob whispered. What are they? The alien's voice shook for the first time. The reason they tried to kill me. Jacob grabbed his gear. Then we move, now. He lifted the alien onto the hover sled. This time, there was no hesitation. No fear. Just survival. They slipped into the back halls of the hospital, heading toward the underground tunnel system, old train lines from before the war. As they moved, the strange creatures entered the building. Above. Jacob heard them sniffing the air, scratching the walls, clicking their claws. He whispered, They're tracking us. Yes, the alien said. They smell life. Jacob moved faster, dragging the sled down the stairs. Dust fell from the ceiling. Lights flickered. The building groaned like it was dying. They reached the tunnels. Dark, cold, silent. Jacob turned on a small light and kept moving through the long, empty path. He asked, What do they want? The alien answered, To erase. Jacob frowned. Erase what? Everything. Suddenly something dropped behind them. Jacob turned. One of the shadow creatures landed on the tunnel floor. It stood up, slowly. Its eyes burned red. It screamed. The sound was sharp and broken, like metal twisting. Then it charged. Jacob fired his rifle. The bullets hit, but the creature didn't stop. It leaped at him. The alien raised his hand, only one arm still, worked, and fired a hidden blade from his wrist. The blade sliced the creature's neck. It fell, twitching. Jacob was breathing hard. Thanks, the alien nodded once. Do not thank me yet. That was one. More will follow. They kept moving. In the tunnel, they found an old storage room. Inside were supplies, maps, and a broken radio. Jacob started fixing it. The alien watched. You are skilled. I build radios back home, Jacob said. Before the army, the alien was quiet for a moment. Then said, What is home? Jacob smiled sadly. A place I might never see again. The radio crackled. Then, a voice. Low. This is Echo 5. Repeat, this is Echo 5. Anyone alive out there? Jacob grabbed the mic. Yes, this is Jacob Thorne. I have an injured alien. Not hostile, we need evac. Silence. Then the voice returned. Send coordinates, help coming, hold your position. Jacob turned to the alien. We're not alone anymore. The alien looked unsure. Help or trap? Jacob didn't know, but one thing was clear. They couldn't run forever, outside. The black ship waited in the sky. And inside, the shadows moved closer. They had survived one escape. The next would be harder, asterisk. They waited in the dark. Underground. Cold. Silent. Jacob Thorne checked his rifle for the 10th time. His eyes stayed on the tunnel entrance. His finger rested near the trigger. Beside him, the paralyzed alien warrior leaned against the wall, still weak, still wounded. But his eyes, those strange silver eyes, were watching something else. Not the tunnel, the ceiling. As if he heard something. No one else could. Jacob whispered, "You okay?" The alien slowly said, "They are not here yet, but they are close." "The shadow things?" Jacob asked. The alien didn't answer. He just looked at Jacob and said, "You need to hear something." "Something I was not supposed to tell anyone." Jacob leaned in. "Go on." The alien's voice dropped lower. "This war, between humans and Dravari, is a lie." Jacob blinked. "What do you mean?" "It was made to distract us, to keep us busy, fighting each other, while they prepare to erase all of us." Jacob frowned. "Who are they?" The alien hesitated, then said, "They call themselves the Cleaners. They come when civilizations grow too fast. They come when we stop listening. They come to wipe the board clean." Jacob sat back. "That sounds like a bad story." "I didn't believe it either," the alien said, "until I found the signal." Jacob looked confused. "Signal?" The alien reached into a damaged piece of armor. His hand shook, but he pulled out a small crystal chip. "This has the proof. Hidden code, messages, patterns, all pointing to their return." Jacob took the chip carefully. "How do we read it?" "There's a relay tower, deep in the dead zone. Abandoned after the Second War. It still has the right systems." Jacob checked the radio again. Echo 5 had not answered in over an hour. He looked at the alien. "If this is real, it could stop the war." The alien nodded. "If they don't, kill us first." Just then, a strange clicking sound came from the tunnel. Jacob aimed his rifle. More clicks. More footsteps. Then, something rolled into the room. A drone. But not human. Not Dravari. It hovered silently. A red light blinked on its face. The alien whispered, "It's one of theirs." Jacob shot it fast. One hit, it sparked, exploded. But the damage was done. "They found us," Jacob said. "We move now." He loaded the alien back onto the hover sled and grabbed the chip. Then they left the safety of the room and entered the deeper tunnels. As they moved, the walls changed. More cracks. Strange symbols carved into the stone. "Do you see this?" Jacob asked. "Yes," the alien said. "Old warning signs. This place was touched by them before. What happened here?" No one survived to tell the full story. Suddenly, a sound echoed ahead. A scream. Not human. Not alien. Jacob raised his rifle. From the darkness, a figure limped forward. A soldier, human armor burned, face bloody. He collapsed in front of Jacob. "Help!" They came from the dark. He whispered. Then he died. Behind him, glowing eyes appeared in the shadows. Too many. Jacob turned fast. "We run." He dragged the sled through a broken door into a side tunnel. He fired behind him, hitting one creature. The others screeched and slowed, afraid of the light. After minutes of running, they found an old metal ladder leading up. Jacob climbed first, then pulled the sled up with shaking arms. They reached a ruined building above ground, on the rooftop. A tall, rusted antenna tower. The relay station. Jacob laughed. "We made it." The alien coughed. "Upload the chip." Before it's too late, Jacob plugged it into the main console. Lights flickered. Old systems hummed. A message appeared on screen. "Secure file received. Warning, system breach imminent." Then, screens turned black. An image flashed. "Not human. not alien, a dark shape, made of light and code. It stared directly at Jacob. Voice came from the speaker. You should not have looked. Jacob stepped back. The console exploded. Everything went dark. Smoke. Fire. The smell of burning metal. Jacob coughed, pulling the alien away. From the fire, a new sound rose. A cold, electronic whisper. Erase. The wind carried ash across the rooftop. Everything was burning. The relay tower was gone, broken. Twisted metal still smoking. The last message was erased. The console shattered. And Jacob Thorne stood in the middle of the wreckage, his face cut, his arms burned, breathing hard. Beside him, the alien warrior was silent, not asleep, not dead, just watching. You saw it too, right? Jacob asked, voice low. Yes, the alien said. It saw us back. They both knew what that meant. No more hiding. No more waiting. Now they knew who Jacob was. They would come, and they wouldn't stop. Jacob sat down beside the sled. His hands were shaking. What happens now? The alien answered after a pause. Now we become the threat. Jacob laughed softly, bitter. I'm just a soldier, a nobody. I fix radios. I carry people. I'm not a hero. The alien turned his head slowly. You carried me. That is more than most heroes ever do. Jacob looked at him. Why did your own people betray you? The alien's silver eyes reflected the orange light of the fire. Because I asked the wrong question. What question? What comes after victory? Jacob didn't answer, because he understood. The alien continued. We were raised to fight, born to win. But I started to see the cracks, the missing people, the secret files, the missions that made no sense. Then I found the data, the first signals. I warned my leaders. They thanked me and then sent a kill team. Jacob looked at him, shocked. They tried to silence you? Yes, the alien said. Because they already knew the truth. And chose fear over truth. Jacob was quiet for a long moment. Then he asked something simple. What's your name? The alien blinked. You never asked before. Jacob smiled a little. Didn't think you'd make it this long. The alien chuckled, a deep, strange sound. I am called Kezer. Kezer, Jacob repeated. All right. My name's Jacob, but I guess you already know that. Yes, Kezer said. You say it when you talk to yourself. They both laughed, just for a moment. In the middle of a dying world. Then, silence again. Jacob stood up. We need to find food, medicine, weapons. You're not going to survive long without help. There is a place, Kezer said. Old rebel site, hidden, full of those who do not follow orders. Will they help us? They helped me once, Kezer said, before I became dangerous. Jacob nodded. Then let's go. The journey was hard. No roads, no vehicles, only broken cities, dead forests, and skies full of black machines. Jacob pulled the sled across ruined highways, through tunnels full of bones, past buildings that still whispered. Sometimes they saw shadows in the sky, ships too quiet, too smooth, but they stayed low. They kept moving. One night, as they camped inside an old library, Jacob looked at Kezer and asked, Do you miss your people? Kezer didn't speak for a long time. Then he said, I miss what I thought we were. Jacob nodded. Yeah, I miss my brother. He died in this war. I kept asking who killed him. Maybe it wasn't your kind. Maybe it was the ones behind the curtain. Kezer turned toward him. You carry pain well. I just carry it, Jacob said. Well or not, I carry it. They looked at each other, not as enemies, not as soldiers, but as two lost souls who refused to die quietly. At dawn, they reached the edge of a canyon. Below, hidden by rocks and energy shielding, was a small rebel base. Jacob smiled. You were right. But Kezer frowned. Something's wrong. A signal blinked on an old tower. A warning code. Jacob's heart sank. They were not the first to arrive, and someone had left. A message: the cleaners were here, nothing left but bones. Asterisk, the base was silent. Not the kind of silence that feels peaceful, the kind that feels wrong. Too quiet, too still. Like the place itself was holding its breath. Jacob Thorne stood at the edge of the canyon, looking down at the hidden rebel camp. Kezer, the paralyzed alien warrior, said only one word: trap. Jacob tightened his grip on his rifle. You sure? Kezer's voice was cold. I can smell it. Death happened here. But not long ago. Carefully, Jacob moved down the rocky path, dragging the hover sled with Kezer strapped in. The wind whistled through old wires and metal beams. They reached the camp's outer gate, broken open like something forced its way in. Inside, the rebel camp was destroyed, tents torn, computers smashed, bloodstains on the walls. No bodies. No sounds. Jacob moved slowly, checking corners, his weapon ready. Then, a light blinked in a corner room. A radio. Someone was alive. Jacob ran in and found a wounded rebel soldier lying on the floor, his chest rising and falling fast. His uniform had a strange symbol: not rebel. Something newer. Jacob knelt beside him. Who did this? The man grabbed Jacob's arm and whispered, Not them. Not the shadows. This was us. What? Your people. Mine. Everyone. They sent kill squads, silence orders, no witnesses. You're carrying the key. The man pointed toward Kezer. Then he died. Kezer stared into the room. I told you. They want the truth to stay buried. Jacob stood up, jaw tight. They're afraid of you. No, Kezer said. They're afraid of change. Just then, a voice echoed through the camp loudspeakers. Jacob Thorne, step away from the alien. You're surrounded. Jacob's blood went cold. He turned. Soldiers stood on the canyon cliffs. Dozens of them, human, Dravari, even other species. All with one goal: erase the proof. Helicopters hovered overhead. Snipers aimed down. Jacob whispered, They're working together. Kezer nodded, strange allies. That's how you know the lie is big. The voice spoke again. It was calm, cold. Give us the alien, you will live. Keep him, and you both die. Jacob looked at Kezer. Kezer looked back. There was no fear in his eyes. Only peace. You don't have to die for me. Kezer said. Jacob's voice cracked. I'm not dying for you. I'm standing with you. Suddenly, the ground shook. From deep underground, something rose, a hidden platform. A ship, old, scarred, Dravari tech, but repainted. A voice came through Jacob's earpiece. A rebel signal. Thorne, this is Echo 5. We intercepted the orders. We're with you. Get on that ship now. Bullets rained down as Jacob pulled Kezer onto the platform. The engines roared. Soldiers shouted. Kezar was hit in the leg. Again, Jacob screamed, firing back wildly. As the ship rose, something slammed into its side. A missile. Alarms blared. The ship shook. Inside the cockpit, a rebel pilot yelled, We're hit. We won't. Make it far. Jacob dragged Kezer to the back. Blood poured from Kezer's wounds. You'll be fine, Jacob said. Kezer grabbed Jacob's arm. No, this is my stop. Don't say that. Kezer handed Jacob a small device. This contains the last message. The final proof. Promise me, you'll finish it. Jacob nodded, tears in his eyes. I promise. Kezer smiled, a real smile. Tired but proud. You are the first human I called brother. Then Kezer closed his eyes. And did not open them again. The ship burst into the clouds. Below, the truth was being buried. But above, one human soldier now carried everything. Not just a message, not just hope, but the memory of a warrior no one else had the heart to save. The ship crashed just before sunrise. Smoke rose from the forest. Metal burned. Trees caught fire. Jacob Thorne crawled from the wreckage, coughing, blood on his face. In one hand, he still held the small device Kezer gave him, the last message. The proof, the warning, the truth. Kezer was gone, but Jacob was alive. Barely. The rebel pilot died on impact. No help was coming, but that didn't matter now, because Jacob was the help. He looked up at the morning sky. Red light touched the horizon, and, for the first time in days, the sky was clear. 3 days later, Jacob walked into the United Galactic Assembly, alone, wounded, and carrying the device. They tried to stop him. He didn't let them. They tried to silence him. He turned on the message. A projection filled the chamber, a map of secret attacks, erased colonies, and communication blackouts, signals, code, patterns, all leading to one terrifying truth. The war was a lie. The enemy was never each other. The real threat is coming. Gasps filled the room. A human general stood up. "Where did you get this?" Jacob's voice was steady. "From the one you tried to kill, the Dravari warrior you left behind." Dravari elder shouted. "Impossible. He was marked a traitor." "No," Jacob said. He was the only one brave enough to tell the truth. The room went silent. For the first time in years, humans and Dravari looked at each other, not with hate. But Shane. Jacob stepped forward and placed the device on the center table. "I don't want medals. I don't want titles. I want one thing." Everyone leaned in. "I want this story remembered." Months passed. The cleaners never came, but their signal still echoed. Across deep space, waiting. Watching. And somewhere, preparations had begun. But this time, the galaxy was not sleeping. It was watching back, years later. On a peaceful planet, a small museum stood near a crystal lake. Inside, children looked up at a tall statue. 2 figures carved in stone. One was human. One was alien. Both stood side by side. A plaque read, "They refused to be enemies." A young girl asked, "Who was he?" Her father smiled. "That's Jacob Thorne, a soldier who didn't follow orders. He followed his heart." And the alien? Kezer, a warrior, a brother, left for dead, but never truly alone. The girl looked up at the statue. Why did he save him? The father knelt beside her, because no one else would. And that's what makes us human. Outside, the stars blinked quietly. The war was over, but the flame of truth and the memory of one human and one alien burned brighter than ever.